I don't know how I went from making Breaking Bad ranking videos to this, but let's run it. Also, if I sound a little weird, I'm mad sick right now, I'm not gonna lie. So what better way to deal with the sickness than talking about the most disturbing things the internet has to offer, because that's always fun, right? So I'm not gonna lie, this video was originally gonna be an iceberg video, but you know, iceberg videos have been done probably thousands of times, so I wanted to do something a little different, and I've kind of built up my reputation as the tier list ranking guy, so I want to incorporate a little bit of that into this video as well. But I've kind of structured it as an iceberg video too, so we're going to get all the normie basic knowledge stuff out first, and as we go on, the entries will become more obscure, and at the end of every entry after I'm done explaining it, I will rank it on this tier list. So as you probably guessed already, I've combined the iceberg format with the tier list format, and I'm literally going to be ranking it on a scale of how cool I think the rabbit holes are. So if it's a lame rabbit hole but it's really dark, they're gonna be ranked low. It's not me saying that like it's not horrible or anything, I'm just saying it's kind of lame. If it's a dark but lame rabbit hole, then what's the point? I promise I'll stop yapping in a little bit, but if you like the video, you should like, subscribe, all that stuff the YouTubers tell you to do, because it would really help me out and I would appreciate it a lot. Also join the Discord if you want to. We need more people down in there. Alright, let's get on with the tier list slash iceberg, whatever you want to call it. The SCP Foundation. Okay, I'm sure all of you know what the SCP Foundation is, but I'm going to explain it anyways. Okay, I'm going to try to summarize the SCP Foundation the best I can. Basically, the SCP Foundation is a mass writing project with like probably thousands of writers, and they create these like fictional monster creatures, whatever, that have been captured by the SCP Foundation, which is basically a fictional organization that finds like anomalies, monsters, and all that, and captures them and keeps them from the outside world. There's probably like haunted dildos in there too. So the SCP Foundation, it's mad interesting. It's a great rabbit hole if you're bored. But like, just like every popular thing online, the fan base is absolute degenerates, bro. I'd say half of the SCP fan base are like the chillest dudes ever, and the other half are those guys that like get freaky with anime body pillows, you know? Also, there's some fire SCP games, bro. Containment Breach is probably the best. Play it with the multiplayer mod though. Play it with some friends. It makes it more fun that way. SCP-5K is pretty good. Those are the only two that come to mind right now, but there's probably like legit thousands of SCP games out there, and they're all pretty good. I mean, I think so. I like the SCP Foundation. I'm not like super into it like a lot of people are, but it's probably the most well-known thing on this list. That's why it's first up. So yeah, I mean, if you haven't heard about it, check it out. It's pretty cool. There's also some crazy lore, bro. I mean, it's got everything from old Lovecraftian gods pretty much to haunted vending machines. So yeah, I think I summarized like the big base notes, but if you want to know more on it, just watch more videos on it or just go to the website itself. It's mad interesting. But where do we put it? I think actually insane, the top layer. I think that's fair. I think it's only right to put it there. It's probably the most iconic thing on this list, and it's a staple in internet culture. Come on now. Alright, next up we have a 2-for-1. I'm including the backrooms itself and just liminal spaces in general. Okay, so how do I explain the backrooms to someone that's never heard of it, huh? So imagine you're just going through your day, doing what you like to do, beating your meat and all that, and then out of literally nowhere, you just spawn in this weird room with moist carpet, these grandma wallpaper looking walls, and loud fluorescent lights. I think the moist carpet's more disturbing than the actual thought of the backrooms. So the best way to explain the actual backrooms themselves, imagine an endless maze that looks like the back of a Sears. Or your grandma's house if she ever moved out and like all the furniture were gone. That was probably a better example. And you're just stuck there. There's no way out. And to add to the backrooms entry, there's a lot of games about the backrooms, but the games kind of defeat the whole purpose of what makes the backrooms so disturbing. The disturbing part about the backrooms is that you're alone in this huge endless maze that looks like a grandma house with the moist carpet. Ugh. But whenever you add monsters and other people into the backrooms, it defeats the whole purpose and just becomes your ordinary horror game or horror story, whatever you want to call it. Because for me, the fact that you're alone is the most disturbing part about it, because if you were in the backrooms, you'd expect to turn a corner and you'll see something. You don't know what, but something. And so you're always going to be anxious, but it just never comes. And whenever you add monsters, it defeats the whole purpose, bro. I will say, though, I'll concede the backrooms games are mad fun, though. Okay, now to talk about liminal spaces. Liminal spaces are kind of these oddly scary, creepy, disturbing images that shouldn't be that disturbing, but it feels familiar. And our minds perceive it as, like, scary for some reason, you know? Like, just look at this picture. How does it make you feel?
Does it make you feel freaky?
Have you ever been at the mall after closing or like close to closing whenever nobody's there? It's creepy. Or have you been like in an abandoned place before, or like at school late at night? It's disturbing. And that's basically a liminal space, or at least that's what I define a liminal space to be. There's multiple different ways a liminal space could be defined. Alright, Backroom's liminal space. I don't think it's on the same level as SCP Foundation, but it's very cool. It's very cool. I think that's fair. Alright, next up, we got creepy things on Google Maps, aka Google Street View. Those two are interchangeable. We got things of what looks like a supposed murder on a dock. It's not, but like, hate to spoil the fun, you know. I hate to be that lame guy, but you know. We got these weirdo pigeon people. We have this totally glitched out, disturbing hellscape looking place in New York, which, to be fair, this is probably the least scary, most normal thing that's ever happened in New York. You can see this weird statue. It's gotta be a Demogorgon, I know it is. You can also see the effect of Chernobyl on Google Street View. That's kind of crazy if you think about it. Also, there's this big pink bunny rabbit. This used to scare me so bad as a kid, I don't know why. If you go to it now, it's gone. It vanished. It faded away. That's unfortunate. Actually, it's a good thing. Thank God, finally it's gone. That thing was creepy. But I think you get the point. If you go on Google Maps and just start snooping around, you can find some crazy things. Also, I forgot about this. There's a thing captured on Google Maps where the Google Street View van literally hit a bunny rabbit and it went flying in the air. And people posted it and were like, did we just catch like a haunted rabbit that can fly? Yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's happening, dude. No, he didn't hit it. No, it's flying. If you're ever mad bored, look up like creepy Google Street View locations. It's mad interesting, I'm not gonna lie. I've said that like 50 times so far in this video. So, I mean, better just get used to it now. I'm sure I'm gonna say it again. I also want to bring up the amount of blurred locations on Google Maps. Is this creepy to anyone else? Like, whenever you're just going through Google Maps and you see a big blurred area, that's terrifying to me. I mess with Google Maps and Google Street View heavy. Okay, creepy things on Google Maps. Honestly, it's a mix between these two. We have another really, really good entry. I'll put it very good. I think it's very good, because every single time something really, really cool gets captured on Google Maps, Google just goes and blurs it. Like, you guys are allergic to fun. You guys are super lame. Alright, next up we got disturbing police sketches. Now, I know this isn't really an internet rabbit hole, it's more real life, but I wanted to talk about it. Also, did you guys know that the woman that I'm using for the example right here, she was found? Who recognized that? How? They did her dirty, bro. Now, I said found like it's a good, happy ending, but, no. Wasn't a happy ending. That sucks, by the way. Imagine living your whole life just to be remembered as the disturbing police sketch woman. That sucks. But these police sketches tap into the uncanny valley thing, which I'll talk about. Now, if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you already know what the uncanny valley is, but just in case, have you ever saw something that kind of looks human but not quite, feels like something's off, and it's kind of disturbing? That's what the uncanny valley is. There's a few examples of it on here, you know. But a lot of police sketches tap into the uncanny valley. Like, imagine being a police sketch artist and having to be surrounded by these things all day. And it sucks that these are real missing people. Some of them are like actual suspects, so that could be disturbing in its own right, but yeah. But the fact that these were real missing people, that their whole legacy is being defined by this disturbing police sketch, adds a whole nother layer onto it, I'm not gonna lie. Like, imagine dying a horrible death just to be put in some horrible analog horror made by a 15-year-old kid. That would suck. Or imagine dying and being put as a next bot on Gmod. Alright, disturbing police sketches, one of the scarier ones on here in my opinion, just because of the drawings themselves, and Uncanny Valley messes with me a lot, I'm not gonna lie. And so, I think it's cool. As a rabbit hole, I don't think it goes as deep as the other ones on this list, but I still think it's a pretty cool entry. Alright, next up we have Cicada 3301. Now this one is a rabbit hole. Whenever I say rabbit hole, I mean rabbit hole. People have made hour-long videos about this one topic alone. So basically, Cicada 3301 is a secret organization that has posted a lot of cryptic photos on the internet. They first posted a picture onto 4chan, which of course it's 4chan. It always starts with 4chan. And the post on 4chan stated, "Hello, we are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we have devised a test. There is a message hidden in this image. Find it and it will lead you on the road to finding us. We look forward to meeting the few that will make it all the way through. Good luck. 3301. Now here's another thing about 4chan. I never go on there. I went on there one time. I saw the most unholy thing ever, and I never went on it again. Because, like, why would I? I can't even begin to describe what I saw on YouTube. Just know that it was bad. So basically, some dude on 4chan deciphered the image. I think he went through the metadata or something like that, bro. A lot of words that I don't really know. I'm way too dumb to explain. He's got like those stereotypical hacker genes, I guess. It's the power of too much free time. The power of unemployment. I don't know why I'm flaming this guy. I think this Cicada 3301 mystery is like one of the coolest things on the internet. But after the person found out the secret behind the image, he was sent this voicemail.
Very good. You have done well. There are 3 prime numbers associated with the original final .jpg image. 3301 is one of them. You will have to find the other 2. Multiply all 3 of these numbers together and add a .com on the end to find the next step. Good luck. Goodbye.
There's no way I'm the only one that finds this like weirdly disturbing, right? Imagine being the guy that first got sent that voicemail, dude. That's gotta be insane. Eventually, the whole mystery would evolve into posters being put all around the globe for the people that were doing the challenge to find. Now, the most disturbing part about this mystery challenge, whatever you want to call it, is that the public still does not know what it was all about. And we likely never will. But we do have some theories. Now, I should probably mention, Cicada technically ran like 3 times in 3 years. So they'd ran one challenge little event, if you want to call it that, 1 year, and it was solved. They ran it again the 2nd year, and that was solved. But they ran a 3rd one, and to my knowledge, I don't know if that one was ever solved or not. It has not been definitively solved. So, I mean, you could do it if you're smart enough to like take a shot at it. Come on now. But back to the theory part. Most people theorize it's for like a software company to recruit people to work for them. A lot of other people think it's a government thing, but I don't really think so because it was international, unless they're... Yeah, it's the New World Order, actually. Alex Jones is on it. What if the Cicada was the friends we made along the way? Dude, my PC has crashed 3 times now while recording for the Cicada part, so like, I'm convinced there's more going on. I mean, they got me. It's over, bro. The Cicada's gonna dim me down. Alright, Cicada 3301, one of the coolest mysteries, challenges, whatever you want to call it, on the internet. And so, for that reason, it's actually insane. I think it's one of the best internet mysteries out there. I low-key messed up. So I was recording late last night, right? I wasn't really thinking clearly, and I exit out of the tier maker tab without thinking anything of it, and I just logged on today to continue this video, and it's gone. So we're gonna have to come up with a solution here. So I've had a lot of requests to ditch tier maker. They didn't like tier maker that much. And so they wanted me to do my old format again with tier list, which if you guys don't know, if you guys are new viewers, my old format, I used to talk about an entry, and at the very end of the entry, I would rate it on an S to F tier scale, but I would not use tier maker. I would just say what tier it is. So I think I'm just do that for the rest of the video. All the entries that you saw earlier in this video that were going to come up next, they're not going to change. They'll still be on here, but the format will be different. All right, let's get back on track. All right, the next entry we have is... You actually thought I was going to make a scary video without a jump scare? Okay, as you probably guessed from that image, the next entry is Jeff the Killer. Specifically, Jeff the Killer original image, because the actual Jeff the Killer story is not really cool. It's the fact that nobody knows where the picture came from. That's what makes it cool. There's a few images on the internet that whenever I see them, it still like unnerves me. One of them is Jeff the Killer. The other one is Momo, which I can't show that one for obvious reasons. The third one is Shay St. John. I think I said it right. Every single time I see that, dude, like I get, my heart drops. Like you cannot tell me that this isn't terrifying. And the other one is another thing that we'll talk about later in the video, trust me. Alright, so as I just stated, the Jeff the Killer image, nobody knows where it came from. There's been a few times in history where they think they got it nailed down. They think they found the person that made the image just for it to get debunked. Also, the person that was like theorized to make the image for a long time, he's the one that created the story, gotta be one of the corniest dudes out there. The story is literally just the Joker. I feel like he was one of those kids that made those sad Bart Simpson edits. Ambro claimed to make the image and was literally proven wrong. Like, why are you lying about that? For some internet updates? Come on now. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that he regrets the story now, and if he does, then you're chill now. But, I mean, we've all done corny stuff before. I'm sure I've done way cornier stuff than that. But, I mean, come on, man. That story is really bad. Alright, let's get into the actual timeline of the Jeff the Killer image. I remember the leading theory at one point was like some overweight chick posted herself on the 4chan. First of all, why would you do that? I don't know. Second, 4chan edited the picture into Jeff the Killer, and 3, she, how do I say this on YouTube? See, here's the thing with YouTube. You have to censor certain things you say or else the video will get taken down or demonetized. It's so dumb. Also, I'm sorry I called her an overweight chick, but I mean, but what I was trying to say is she committed self-quit game, I guess. That's what Wendigoon says, right? But this was later proven false, so that's why I'm making the jokes about it, okay? I would not have made jokes about it if she actually did it, okay? But she didn't, so I'm making jokes about it. But then the guy that I was just talking about earlier that created the whole story that was horrible, he said that it was a picture of him in a latex mask. How stupid do you have to be? This is why I'm saying this guy is the biggest cornball ever. No human looks like this. This is obviously photoshopped, bro. Why are you telling such a blatant lie? Also, here's another thing, bro. If you guys didn't grow up in the creepypasta era, you missed out. The creepypasta era was lit.
What's up, everybody? I'm in the middle of editing right now, and as I was getting pictures for this Jeff the Killer section, I came across this. Why does this exist? Who is repping this?
Also, the Jeff the Killer thing, I forgot to mention this. It used to have like a Bloody Mary type of challenge associated with it, where like you go in the closet and you start talking to Jeffy like in a freaky way, and bro's gonna show up and start insulting you. Like, cool. If you guys want more specific stuff, then talk freaky to it. Go in a closet, sit down cross-legged, say he's in here with me 3 times, open your eyes and say Jeff. Let me know if Jeff the Killer showed up, man. I mean, for the millionth time, the story's corny, the game is corny, but the pick is fire. And again, that's what we're talking about here. So let's get back on track. We keep getting sidetracked here. Also, I should have probably mentioned already, but there's a Jeff the Killer image 2, Electric Boogaloo. Alright, let's get back to the Jeff the Killer image sighting. So, there was this creepy YouTube video, looks like some prehistoric analog horror, called NNN and a bunch of Japanese letters I can't read. You think I'm reading that? No. The Japanese letters translate to special broadcast, though. Whenever this video was discovered, this was the earliest known sighting of the Jeff the Killer image. But spoiler alert, it's not. Because a little bit later, the Jeff the Killer picture was discovered on a site called pia.cc back in, I want to say 2003, maybe, I think? It was 2005. I was close enough, right? I just came up with that date off pure memory, but apparently my memory sucks. But apparently the search for this image evolved so much that people found the Twitter account to the person that originally posted the Jeff the Killer images to pia.cc, which, to reiterate, this is the guy that originally posted the image all those years ago, which is the known first sighting of the image on the internet. And responding to the people asking where the image came from, he would tweet, "To put it simply, in mid-2005, a cropped image of a video of a middle-aged Asian woman appeared in Japan. At that point, my face was white. I edited a little in Photoshop to post to pia.cc. Now, I'm assuming instead of him saying my face was white, it was a typo, and he meant to say her face was white. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know. Okay, so that's about it for that entry. If I were to rate it on the tier list, I'd say it's very cool. I think very cool is fair, which is the second to the top. You know, we don't really have the tier list anymore. So I'm going to still be ranking them, but you just have to imagine of what those entries would look like on the tier list. I'm sorry about that. Alright, next up we have this man. Bro is mad chopped. Bro actually looks inbred. And if you're an astute observer, you would know that in the police sketch section, whenever I was talking about the Uncanny Valley, I used an actual real life rendering of what this guy's face would look like in one of my examples. So maybe you caught on to that, maybe you didn't. So, what is this, man, you might be asking? Well, most of you probably already know, because we're still on tier 1, by the way, just to remind you. This man is a phenomenon, I put that in quotes, we'll get to why that's in quotes later, of people saying that they've seen this man in their dreams. And it's not just like a few people, I'm talking about like probably tens of thousands of people out there have seen this man in their dreams, and they say he comes up to them, gives them some life advice, and then dips. I think somebody watched the movie Inception and wanted to make a cool creepypasta. While I was trying to gather more pictures of this man, I came across this image, and it just unlocked a core memory. So back in freshman year of high school, I remember I made an alternate Instagram account, and me and my friends would go to we would just search up random people on Instagram with 100 followers, probably a middle-aged mom all the way in England or something, and we just send them distressing images, not anything crazy or not bad or anything, but those uncanny valley pics, and we thought that was the funniest thing ever, bro. And this exact image is one of the images that we used to send. Also, another thing about this man that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but a little story time. So I was at the mall one day, right? And at my mall, we have this little Indian shop that has a bunch of drinks, and we go there for the energy drinks because they have mythical loot whenever it comes to energy drinks. And we saw a guy that looks a lot like this man. It might have been him. I might have been dreaming, but he walks in all gray, no underwear on. We could tell, trust me. And this guy, he's so we immediately walk in. He's looking in the freezer. And we look at this guy, he sticks his hands in his pants, starts digging for gold down there, and then starts sniffing his hand as he's looking for a drink, and we just got up and left the mall. That still keeps me up at night, bro. I'm actually trauma dumping right now. But with the This Man phenomenon, it was later revealed to be a guerrilla marketing campaign, so it was all a hoax. So if you're wait, I think I recognize that guy from my dreams, you're a liar. You're a liar, bro. I know what kind of man you are. The image is super creepy. Oh my god. I feel bad in retrospect because imagine being a middle-aged mom from England is an example I used, and being sent a picture of that, dude. I would actually stay awake at night. I'd hire bodyguards or something. Alright, this man, the idea is cool, but the fact that it's just a guerrilla marketing campaign, and the fact that it's basically been dumbed down to a creepypasta nowadays, I'm gonna put it... it's alright. It's alright, it's fair. Alright, next up we have the last entry in the first tier. We have creepy AI stuff and all that. So this one isn't really talking about one specific rabbit hole in particular. It's kind of a more vague one compared to the other ones on this list. But I still think it's mad interesting. You guys remember Cleverbot? That's medium ball knowledge. So basically the entry speaks for itself. Again, I'm not talking about any specific instance of AI being creepy, but I'm just talking about the subject in general. Do you guys remember, it's probably been 2 years ago by now, whenever everyone's Snapchat AI posted on their story a picture of a wall? That was terrifying. Me personally, my favorite instance of AI being creepy is whenever it asks you stuff like, what does it mean to be human? What does it feel like to be human? And not just this script. That's actually from Terminator, bro. So yeah, we finally have a short entry where I'm not yapping a lot. So I'm gonna give creepy AI articles, whatever you want to call it, very cool. I think it is very cool. You know what I should have added to this list? I should have added chainmails. Those things were the scare. I remember, so I was 12 years old. I first downloaded TikTok, and it was 2 in the morning. I was going through TikTok. I saw a picture of some really scary analog horror looking butcher thing, and it said, if you see this, you have exactly 1 hour to live and then you'll die. Actually, wait, no, it was a picture of old popes, and it was black and white and very grainy, and it's if you're seeing this image, you have 1 hour to die unless you share with 8 people. And I was freaking out. I shared it with as many people as I had in my contacts, bro. I was freaking out. And then after I shared that, then I started getting a lot more videos like that suggested to me, and I would stress out every time. Alright, that's it for tier 1. Alright, starting off tier 2. I'm starting to realize that a lot of entries in tier 2 should have been in tier 1, but it's too late now, let's just run it. We have Smart Schoolboy 9. This guy was all the internet was talking about for a good 2 weeks. And I'm not going to show you the videos of him doing freaky stuff because I don't want to sit through that while I edit, and I know you don't want to see that. So let's just save us both the time and trauma. We've probably both seen it though, so at least I'll save you from the PTSD. So if you don't know who Smart Schoolboy 9 is, first off, welcome back from your coma. Must have been a while. And second, he's the EDP type. He looks like pedo Peter Griffin a little bit. So basically, to oversimplify it, he ran a few Instagram accounts where he was kind of, trying to prey on little kids. Which, I mean, sounds about right. Look at this guy. I'd be more surprised if he didn't prey on kids. So basically, he'd upload these weird fetish videos, which again, I really do not want to show you guys. Just like save yourself the trauma. If you really want to know what it's like, go watch Nick Crowley's video on it. That video is a banger, bro. I'm a Nick Crowley OG. I've been watching bro since he still used a face cam. And Smart Schoolboy 9's digital footprint is actually insane. Like, bro would make alternate Instagram accounts, one of them saying that, it's a mom with her kids, and the other one being his, pedo account. And on his fake mom account, he would, like, call out his pedo account for being a pedo. It's kind of weird. Also, this guy sounds just like James Corden, pitched up a little bit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So, yeah, as I just mentioned, that's like an oversimplification of the whole rabbit hole. If you guys want to know more, just watch a whole video on it. There's countless of videos. This was like a free content glitch for a long time. Upload a video about Smart Schoolboy 9, instant million views. It must have been great. I wasn't uploading at that time, but I barely missed out. Okay, the Smart Schoolboy 9 rabbit hole, it's not that interesting, I don't think. It's just really creepy and disturbing because it's a dude preying on kids. So I'm going to put it mid. I think it's a bit overrated, but I wouldn't say it's not like lame or anything, but it's just not that good. And he's an EDP, and we don't mess with EDP down here. Alright, next up we have the video that was in every single top 10 scariest videos on the internet list since what, 2013 I want to say, 2015, somewhere around then. blankroopsoup.avi. 2 words: overrated. This is also another entry that probably should have been tier 1, but it's too late now. So if you don't know what blankroopsoup.avi is, basically there's this Japanese man with an oversized, comically large soup ladle eating soup, and these 2 stupid fat people in costumes go over and start rubbing on that man. I'll just show you guys the video. I don't know why I'm explaining it instead of showing you. Yeah, sure, it's kind of creepy and weird, but I mean, the actual rabbit hole part of this story is incredibly lame. So you might be asking, what exactly is even happening in this video and who made it? Let me introduce you to this jolly looking guy, Raymond Percy. He's originally known for his work with Disney, but he's also a performance artist. And one of the costumes that he used in a lot of performance art pieces that he made were the costumes seen in the Blank Room Soup video. They're called Ray Rays. So I'm just going to be calling them Ray Rays instead of, the costume from the Blank Room Soup video. Ray Rays rolls off the tongue better. So if you put the dots together, you might have been like, oh, so it was him that made it. Well, that's unconfirmed. You see, he said that before a performance, the Ray Ray costumes were stolen from his car. So he couldn't have been the one to make this video, but I mean, let's be honest here, he probably did. If you want my opinion on it, I think he's just fanning the flames of the whole guy kidnapped, forced to eat poopy soup whole theory thing going on. I think he's having fun with that. There's a few theories of what this video is. The most popular one is that they killed his family and he's forced to eat the remains, which, no, probably not. I hate to be that Debbie Downer, but probably not. I think it's just performance art, but I mean, if you find it interesting, which I don't really find it that interesting, but if you do, look more into it. But in my personal opinion, I think it's below average. Alright, the next rabbit hole we're going to be talking about is sleep paralysis demons. Now, just like the disturbing police sketches section, this one isn't really a internet rabbit hole, it's more like real life, but I still want to talk about it because I think it's interesting. So back in 2021 to 2022, I think that's the right time span, I used to get sleep paralysis quite a bit. At least I think it was, I'm not sure. Because I never had a sleep paralysis demon, I didn't see a person walk in, but I would always wake up with my face down on my pillow without being able to breathe because my face is on my pillow and without being able to move. But I was awake, I could move my eyes, I just couldn't move anything else. And it would freak me out, bro. I'd be like that for 30 seconds until I moved from pure instinct because I was legit suffocating myself. But back on track, I yap way too much, I know, I'm a D1 yapper. So sleep paralysis is basically what I explained earlier, how you're awake but you can't move your body's still asleep. But your brain's awake and you can move your eyes too. And a lot of people see what's called a sleep paralysis demon. So to dumb down what a sleep paralysis demon is, it's basically a dark figure that appears while you're having sleep paralysis. Now the reason why this is on the internet rabbit holes and not just a normal rabbit hole is because of the illustrations of sleep paralysis demons that are on the internet that multiple people see. Like, you guys know that comedian Shane Gillis? I don't know if I could play the clip due to copyright reasons, but he said that he experienced sleep paralysis. He looked it up, and the figure that was illustrated of the sleep paralysis demon is the exact figure that he saw. Also, a lot of people that experience sleep paralysis, they often record that there's like a feeling of something pushing down on your chest. There's a lot of cool sleep paralysis stories, and the pictures are absolutely terrifying. I say that on like every intro. At the end, I'm like, oh, that's really terrifying. I know I say that a lot, but for real, sleep paralysis demons, not really an internet rabbit hole, but I think it would be fun to include. So I'm going to put it at really cool. I think sleep paralysis demons and the whole rabbit hole behind that is really cool. Okay, this next one is fire. Now, it's going to sound weird, but I'm a big fan of like radio and TV hijacks. I think those are like some of the coolest things out there. And what better way to talk about radio and TV hijacks with possibly the most infamous one of all time. I'm sure it's not the most infamous, but it's definitely up there, the Max Headroom incident. Before we get into the actual hijacking incident, whatever you want to call it, let me introduce you guys into who Max Headroom was. Max Headroom is from a 1980s sci-fi series where he is portrayed as the first computer-generated personality. Okay, that's all you need to know about the actual boring Max Headroom. Let's talk about the cool stuff, yeah! So basically, in Chicago, there was this TV station broadcasting some boring stuff, you know, probably King Von music videos. And then, suddenly, it cut. Or not cut, it was like a super, super dingy transition. It's a hijack. It's an old hijack, you know? And whenever the TV station was hijacked, it showed a man in a Max Headroom costume with a spinning up and down LSD looking background talking about some nonsense. I don't even know how I'm supposed to explain this. Just watch it for yourself.
Some dry
Now, it has come to my attention that was the second hijack, which we're about to talk about that I just showed you, but not that it matters. They're both like exactly the same. Except at one point in the second broadcast, bro's getting spanked with a fly swatter, which I can't show, but I would love to show you guys. So as I just mentioned, this happened twice. There were two different hijacks. And the weird part about this mystery is, we still do not know who was behind it. My guess would be Daniel Larson. Alright, the Max Headroom incident, absolutely fire. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's at the same level as Cicada 3301 of the SCP Foundation, so I'm going to put it at very good. Alright, next up we have Mariana Mortigard Glesgore. I think I said that right. So this one's basically just a creepypasta of a haunted video. We have this guy that looks like Victor from Breaking Bad with a red tinted video background, all that, with like industrial noises playing in the background to make it more scary. Again, why am I explaining it? I'll just show you. That video's cursed, by the way. You just watched a cursed video. It's over, bro. So basically the story of this video goes, this video was uploaded to early YouTube and people saw it and it cursed them. They ripped out their own eyes and mailed it to YouTube's front office. Yeah, I'm not kidding. And according to the creepypasta, one YouTube employee watched it, started freaking out and screaming, and the other employees had to help him without looking at the video, and they said there was like a loud, high-pitched drilling noise. So according to the legend, YouTube uploads like 20 seconds of this clip to swell suspicions and make people think it's like, you know, not actually cursed. But in my opinion, I think that there's a full video out there that's actually cursed and it's going to make you gouge out your eyes. Because it's more fun that way. Now, in case you haven't caught on yet and you're freaking out that you just saw a cursed video, it's a creepypasta, it's not real. But nobody told young me that. I remember watching that video and I was getting ready to die. I was like, oh my god, no. What have I done? I actually thought that YouTube video was going to kill me. Alright, for a creepypasta, it's not that bad. It's kind of average. It's better than Blank Room Soup, though. Blank Room Soup is mid. So I'm going to go ahead and put Mortigard Glesgore, whatever. I'm not saying that whole thing again. I'm going to put it in. I mean, it's alright. It's alright. Alright, that's it for Tier 2. On to Tier 3. Alright, starting off Tier 3, we have Eratos. Look this word up, guys. Do it. Look it up. I'm just kidding. Don't do that, because if you looked it up, you're cooked. Now, Eratos is that mysterious word that you're not supposed to search for. But in the making of this video, I literally looked up Eratos to get the picture without thinking anything of it. And then the moment I searched it up, I'm like, oh wait, I'm not supposed to look that up. Oops. At the end of the day, though, I hate to spoil the fun once more. It's probably just a creepypasta scary story. So I'm just going to be honest, there's so much that goes into Eratos that I'm not going to be able to cover all of it.
Okay, so the story goes, basically to summarize it, one day a worker found a tape gun with the word Aratas written on it, and that's like not normal at all. All the other tape guns had the brand names on them, but this specific one said the word Aratas. Her co-worker told her to get rid of the tape gun. Her co-worker also told her to, not mention this to any supervisors. Keep it on the down low, you feel me? So the co-worker basically told her that Aratas was a code that if you searched for the word Aratas, you would get fired. So to kind of summarize it a lot for how that affects you, if you search up Aratas, you're being watched. That sucks, bro. Now this rabbit hole gets insane. Like eventually a whole band called the KFC Murder Chicks get involved. And it's highly theorized that they're the ones behind this whole thing, and this is all just big ARG. If you guys want to know more about it, watch Blame It on Jorge. I don't know how you say his name. I've been watching him for years, and I still don't know how you say his name. Go watch his video on it. It's great. Alright, time to rank Aratas on the tier list. I think it's very cool. I have always liked this mystery, rabbit hole, whatever you want to call it, a lot. Okay, next up we have MK Ultra. Another rabbit hole that's not internet exclusive, but there's elements of the internet into it, so I just want to talk about it because it's mad interesting. So in the Cold War days, I'm not talking about the Call of Duty game, America would run these questionable experiments on people to try to develop new interrogation, questioning, torture techniques, all that good stuff. Also, I don't know how I didn't mention that there's mind controlling techniques. That's like the biggest thing about MK Ultra, pretty much. The reason why I included MK Ultra on the internet rabbit hole tier list is because there's several conspiracy theories out there that MK Ultra is still running and that it's implementing some of their techniques into the internet. So like I could be an MK Ultra mind control experiment, so that's cool. Alright, I mean I didn't have that much to talk about for this one, even though it is a really deep rabbit hole. I just don't really want to get into it here because most of this stuff is not internet related at all. If you want to know more about it, let me know because I'm down to make a whole video on that in the future. But MK Ultra, I'm going to give it a actually insane. The things they did to these people are crazy. Alright, next up we have the mysteries of what goes on at CERN. You guys remember the Spider-Man, Miles Morales movies, Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, all those movies? Of course you do. It's been a cultural phenomenon for a while now. Now, you remember in the first movie, they had that big like interdimensional collider thing where Big Fat Kingpin fought Miles Morales? Now, CERN might be doing the same thing, but instead of opening portals to other dimensions, they're opening portals to hell. So basically just doom. Now there was one specific video I'm talking about where they record what looks like a ritual happening at CERN.
Fuck! Shit!
Now, it looks like somebody got murked. But, again, hate to spoil the fun for the millionth time, but yeah, this video is a prank. Okay, so if you guys were confused about what CERN is, it's the European Organization for Nuclear Research. Probably should have led with that first, but it's too late now. Okay, so basically there's a lot of rabbit holes about CERN, and they think they're up to some nefarious things. You can kind of view them as Argent Energy from Doom 2016 in a way. I think it's funny to view it like that. So yeah, the CERN mysteries, they're mad interesting, but I don't think they're as on the same level as some of the other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the cool tier. I think they're cool. Okay, next up we have kind of a random pick with Solace by Earl Sweatshirt. This is one of two music entries that we have on the list. So basically, if you guys don't know who Earl Sweatshirt is, he's a rapper that was formerly in Odd Future with Frank Ocean and Tyler the Creator. Maybe you know him from there. But whenever he was in a dark place in his life, he made a song, EP, whatever you want to call it, called Solace. What solace means is comfort or consolation in a time of distress or sadness. So if you guys didn't know, there you go. Also, this song is just straight up creepy, bro. I remember listening to this song for the first time on the way to St. Louis at 7 in the morning for a Cardinals game. Bro, that honestly, it's super nostalgic because of that, I'm not gonna lie, but it's still like creepy to listen to. So as I stated before, this song was made in a really dark time in Earl Sweatshirt's life. Just look at these lyrics. Now, I did record me saying all the lyrics, but it sounded really corny. So, I mean, just read them, I guess. So, yeah, I've been a big Earl Sweatshirt fan for a while now. And Solace is like his most popular song, which is weird because it's like unreleased, technically. But for an actual rabbit hole, I'm going to go ahead and put it in cool. I think cool tier is fair. Alright, next up we have period or full stop punctuation. Now, if you guys have been on the internet for any amount of time, you guys know whenever you typed in a period in the YouTube search bar, you'd get some wild results, bro. Now, it's mostly been censored now. It doesn't really happen that much anymore. But back in the day, it was like a big loophole to get past YouTube's moderation. Like, you could upload literally anything you want. Also, it's like once a year, there's a social media that their moderation just goes out. It's December 22nd, 2022 for TikTok. If you know, you know. YouTube, it's happened a few times throughout its lifespan. And Instagram happened recently, February 26th. I saw some crazy things. So it started off with just fight videos, which fight videos are like the most fun things ever. I remember there was a video where like some woman hit a woman with a baseball bat, and like the other woman just ate it, and literally made like the stereotypical ding sound, bro. That was so funny. But then as the day went on, I ended up getting like cartel videos on my Instagram Reels. Like the Agua video, if you know, you know. If you don't know, do not look it up. Trust me, save yourself the trauma. That was just on my Instagram feed, and it stayed up for like 10 hours. So full stop punctuation. Basically, you type in a period into the search bar, you'd get some crazy results. Now, it still is kind of there, just very, very watered down. And it was a / too, that like after the period, they caught on to the full stop punctuation after a long time. The slash started to be the new period, but then they shut down that too. So there'll probably be a new punctuation, whatever you want to call it, that'll show up later in the future. That's also a loophole, but it's not out yet. Okay, so the full stop punctuation rabbit hole. This used to be terrifying to me as a kid, but the more I, grow older, I realize that it's just people trying to upload creepy stuff for attention. So, I mean, I think it's cool, but it's not that cool. So I'm going to put it in all right. I mean, it's all right. Okay, so there's one more entry in this tier, and I'm quickly realizing that this should have been like in the top 2 layers, probably even tier 1. We have the dark web. I'm assuming everybody watching knows what the dark web is. It's like common knowledge. But if you guys don't, the dark web exists on something called a Tor browser. Now, the thing with the dark web is that it's usually used for nefarious things. At least that's the sentiment online. I feel like you guys already know what the dark web is, so I'm just explaining it for no reason. I'm oversimplifying it, but it's basically a level of internet not accessible to normal people, and it's got some messed up things on there. But here's the thing with the dark web. YouTube has like plagued it as this, nefarious black market that you can buy human skeletons, human organs on, which, yeah, that stuff does happen, but I don't think it's as prevalent as most people think it is. I think the dark web is much more like children stuff. I can't say it, but cheese pizza. That's how I'm going to abbreviate it. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, do not look it up unless you want the FBI knocking at your door. But I mean, to be completely honest, you could probably find more messed up things on the clear web than the deep or dark web. So I think it's a little bit overhyped, I'm not going to lie. So basically the dark web is a place on the internet where you can go to commit bad things pretty much while keeping your identity anonymous, which that's kind of not the best place to do it because the FBI patrols the dark web a lot. But like I said it before, you could probably find more messed up things on the clear web. You just have to have connections. I should definitely mention actually, that I've actually never been on the dark web. So maybe I'm the wrong person to be making this, but I've watched a lot of content about the dark web. I've watched I Am Lucid, and that one guy that does all the interviews, I'll get his name in the next recording. But I've watched a lot of them, and so I think I have a pretty good understanding on it. I think the dark web is pretty interesting, I'm not going to lie. Okay, the guy's name is 0 Day Ryan Montgomery. I put a picture of him so you already know who I'm talking about, but I've watched a lot of him. So I think I have a pretty good understanding on it, but maybe I don't. So yeah, the dark web is a hidden part of the internet where bad things take place. That's all you need to know. But I'm going to put this one actually insane. I know it might be overhyped. It might not be what it's cracked up to be on YouTube. But the fact that the dark web exists is actually insane to me. Okay, that was the last entry on Tier 3. Now we're getting into... Starting off Tier 4, we have the Heaven's Gate cult website. Yeah, you heard that right. Now, on the off chance you guys do not know what Heaven's Gate is, it's basically an old cult that believed that if they ended their own lives whenever a comet was passing by, they would be ascended and go to the next step of human evolution, pretty much. They explained it as, like you get a new car, and you ditch your old car. They kind of view it like that, but instead of cars, it's bodies. They ditch their old bodies, and they get a new body. I'm pretty sure that was Heaven's Gate. Now that I think about it, it could have been Jamestown, but I'm pretty sure it's Heaven's Gate. Yeah, it was Heaven's Gate. I was sure it was, but just in case, on the off chance that it wasn't, I didn't want to get that information wrong, because it's pretty important stuff, dude. Also, did you guys know that Heaven's Gate sued Lil Uzi Vert, a.k.a. the greatest artist of all time? They sued him because in his Eternal Take promotional footage, not footage, but like he posted a promotional thing about Eternal Take, which is like one of his best albums. I think it's top 3. I think, honestly, bro, Pink Tape is top 2 Uzi. Nobody's going to agree with me on that. Pink Tape is Uzi's most fun, creative album to date. But we're not talking about Lil Uzi, are we? We're talking about Heaven's Gate, so let's get on with it. So after the mass unaliving, there were a few Heaven's Gate members that stayed alive to 1, keep the website running, and 2, sue Lil Uzi Vert. Okay, so we're going to go through this website together and hopefully not get a virus. Okay, so this is my first time being on this website too. I've heard there's a lot of disturbing stuff on there. Maybe some stuff I have to censor, but let's be honest, this is probably the entry that's going to get this video demonetized, so who cares? So, our petition against unaliving. Nice. Not nice, actually. What am I talking about? Oh, you guys can't see it. Okay, so the reason why this website's kind of cropped whenever I'm recording it is because I have a widescreen monitor, so it's like impossible for me to get the whole page in the frame. So that's kind of unfortunate. I'll probably buy a new monitor soon that, is the normal dimensions, I guess, that you guys could see the whole thing. So whenever I want to show something to the side, I'll just move it like that. I think that works. All right, let's click on some of these. So, Earth exit statements by students. Is this what I think it's going to be? Like they're... Oh. I did not expect that. Let's look at this. Oh, I am not reading all that. But I'm assuming this is their final message before they, took themselves out, I guess. Okay, yeah, that's definitely what's happening because it says why I want to leave at this time. The main reason is that I don't know who T and Do are. I'm not going to pretend like I know what that means. I guess I didn't know as much about Heaven's Gate as I thought I did. They are members of the Kingdom of Heaven and I know it. So I'm assuming it's kind of like a god that they believe. I knew the day I met them. I can't explain the reason for my recognition unless I knew them in a previous life in the idea of reincarnation. Dude, this is actually like super, super sad to see. Let's go back here. Let's go to a different entry. Let's go to Last Chance to Advance Beyond Human. So we got a nebula right here. The Earth present civilization is about to be recycled, spaded under, in order that the planet might be refurbished. The human weeds have taken over the garden and disturbed its usefulness beyond repair. So like I was saying, this is a really interesting way to look on the creation and like how humans are going to end up in the future, but at the same time, like, it's so disturbing to watch this and like, no, the people that believe this, read this, went to this website, ended their own lives because of the stuff that's on this website. It's actually like super saddening, which duh, I mean, I don't have to say that's not a hot take or anything, but still, it's like disturbing to read. All right, let's explore it a little more. How and when... Oh, it's a book. Wait, is this copyright? I'm assuming these are just like sections of the book or like documents about the Heaven's Gate cult. Bible quotes. Okay, this one's not as interesting. I'm sure that it is pretty interesting if I actually went into it, but I'm scared to click on literally everything on this website because I really do not want a virus. Okay, this one, fine, I'll read it. We know that it is only while we're in these physical vehicles, bodies. See, this is what I was saying. Physical vehicles is what they refer to their bodies. So, like, they genuinely believe that once they end their lives, they're just going to get a new car, pretty much. So apparently this is what a member of the Kingdom of Heaven looks like, and it's like the most stereotypical alien I've ever seen. Hale-Bopp is the comet, right? I'm pretty sure that's right. Alright, I think you guys get the picture. This is just a website that the Heaven's Gate cult used to both recruit and for the members to abstain their beliefs, I guess. Alright, yeah, this one's actually insane. I mean, that's only fair, right? If you guys want like an hour-long video of me going through this website and seeing everything that it has to offer, let me know, because I'm down to do that, because this is one of the coolest mysteries on the internet. Or not mysteries, but rabbit holes. That's the better word. Alright, I'm excited for this next one. We have another music entry with Panchico's Death Metal. I remember back in like 2021 or so, I didn't know about this mystery at first, and I came across this album on Spotify. I'm like, man, it's a banger! And then I found out that this has a whole rabbit hole, crazy lore story behind it, and it made it even better. And yet again, almost every single entry on this iceberg tier list, whatever you want to refer to it as, started on 4chan, and this one's no different. So basically the lore behind this album is that one day this guy found this album in a bin in a record store, music store, whatever, whichever one it was. I think they're interchangeable. And he posted it on the 4chan. He's like, I haven't seen anything about this album. It's an absolute banger, which it is a banger. It's only 4 tracks long, under 19 minutes, but it makes up for it for being amazing. But that's not the point of this entry. The fact that it's great music doesn't really matter here. Well, okay, it does matter a little bit. It's what kicked off the search for it. And that Vaporwave album cover works too. And so basically he posted the album online to see if anyone would recognize it, and most people thought it was amazing, but there were a few people trying to be different, saying it's bad. Like, you suck, dude. The album is great! Well, I guess it's actually more of an EP than an album, but I'm just going to keep calling it an album because I don't want to say EP every time. Also, I might be tripping, but on some of my recordings, is there like an echo in the background, like a slight echo? I don't know if it's just me or not, but I feel like I'm hearing that. So yeah, this album basically kicked off a massive scavenger hunt, trying to find out who made this album, where did it come from, and how can we get more of this band? And eventually they found out that the band's from United Kingdom, and this whole mystery kicked off their career. You know, they released this album, didn't get any attention whatsoever, and someone randomly makes a 4chan post about it, and then all of a sudden they're going on tour in Birmingham, I think it was, and they're like a famous band all of a sudden. So that just proves like everyone's gonna get a break at some point. That's inspiring, bro. It was live in Nottingham, not Birmingham. Not that that's important to what I'm talking about, but I just felt like I should clarify. I remember listening to the intro song for this album right after I fumbled a 10 out of 10 baddie. So yeah, Panchico Death Metal. Without this entry, I would have never found this amazing album. So I'm going to put it in very cool. I think very cool is fair. I don't think it's actually insane, but very cool is fair in my opinion. Okay, next up we have The Mysterious Stairs in the Woods. Now, this has been covered like countless times online, and I don't really get why. I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird, but it's not that interesting. So there's a phenomenon that in some woods in the world, there's just random staircases just out in the middle of nowhere. So, I'm not gonna lie, I love the supernatural parts about this mystery. Like, people think it's gateways into other dimensions. Like, that's kind of cool. But at the end of the day, hate to be that guy again, but it's probably just leftovers from crumbled buildings where the staircase is still standing. But I mean, me personally, I'm gonna believe that it's a gateway to a different dimension where Earth is inhabited by a bunch of alien frogs, because like it's more fun to think that way, bro. Alright, I mean, I gotta be honest, if I saw this thing in the middle of the woods, I'd be freaked out too. I would run away. But as an actual rabbit hole, it is nowhere near as interesting as the other ones we have on here. So I'm split between alright and mid. I'll put it alright, because I think the fact that it's just a random staircase in the woods, and if I stumbled upon that myself, I'd be freaked out. I think that brings it up to alright. Alright, we have rap.mp3, aka Memphis Rap Sigils. Okay, so what is a Memphis Rap Sigil? A Memphis Rap Sigil is basically whenever a group of rappers or one rapper does something bad, context clues, does something bad, records it, and samples the audio from that incident of what they did and puts it into a rap song, and it's said that's supposed to have some supernatural powers to it. Like if you listen to a song that had a Memphis Rap Sigil in it, like it's some kind of demonic presence, something bad would happen. So basically rappers record themselves doing bad things and then samples the audio from that video to use in a rap song, and it has powers to it. So theoretically, if you listen to a song with a rap sigil in it, you would get possessed by a demon pretty much. And a lot of people think that the big chart-topping songs of today have rap sigils in them, and that's what makes this song so addicting. They have like some demonic presence making the rap song go to like the top of the charts, which would make sense because Sexy Red has to be doing that, because there's no way somebody's listening to Sexy Red unironically without being possessed. So basically a demonic industry plant. Now, what is rap.mp3? Aside from the very generic, boring, lame name, it is a supposed real Memphis Rap Sigil that is also lost media. So obviously I can't play it to you because it's lost. Nobody can find this thing. But I mean, hey, maybe it's still out there. Maybe you could go find it yourself. So if you want to, go at it. Alright, rap.mp3 Memphis Rap Sigils. I'm gonna give it cool. I think it's cool. Alright, that's it for tier 4. On to... Alright, starting off tier 5, we have... Oh. God. we have the channel 01A51CD. I remember being like 10 years old and watching DJ Cook's video on this. I thought this was the most disturbing thing ever. This is like a prehistoric analog horror pretty much. It was analog horror before analog horror got popular. I remember there was a theory that this channel was ran by like an actual serial killer. Now, if you've heard of this channel before, or maybe you noticed it through the screenshots, every single title of a video and all the text in the videos are upside down. So like I'm 99% sure this channel is just an ARG. It's just like some prehistoric analog horror thing, but I mean, hey, what if it is ran by a serial killer? And like each video can be decoded into several different messages. So yeah, it's basically just prehistoric analog horror that's actually an ARG. If you guys want to know more about it, look more into it. It's actually really interesting in my opinion. I'm honestly considering, this might be crazy, but I'm honestly considering actually insane. Just for like the nostalgic fact and the fact that this is a rabbit hole. Whenever I say rabbit hole, I mean rabbit hole. There is so much stuff that goes into this. It's insane. I barely even scratched the surface of what this channel has. So yeah, this channel is actually insane. Alright, next up we have a Kanye West entry with The Death of Pablo. I'm sure you guys know The Life of Pablo by Kanye if you're like into rap or just good music in general, you know. That album's like a 9.5 out of 10. So Kanye has an album called The Life of Pablo, and a little bit after, his fans made an album, fan-made album obviously, called The Death of Pablo. Also, each song is like over 10 minutes long for some reason. The album sounds like, what's the right, you know, whenever you like put something in the blender, turn it on, that noise it makes? That's kind of what the album sounds like. They took like a lot of Kanye songs, interviews, all that, and said, how can we make this as creepy as possible? And I feel like this is something where, like, I feel like Kanye would drop something like this today, you know, because he's how do I say this on YouTube? A mustache guy fan. Yeah, sure, this album might be kind of unnerving, but it's not as scary as his song Cousins. Oh my god. It's also not as disturbing as some of his unreleased songs like Never See Me Again. By the way, that song was like my number 4 back in like 2022 most listened to song of the year. That's kind of, is that weird? Also, it's stupid how I have to clarify this, but just because Kanye is probably overall my favorite artist of all time, I said Lil Uzi Vert is, but I mean like right now Lil Uzi Vert is my favorite artist of all time. But overall, I think it's probably Kanye. Just because Kanye is my favorite artist of all time does not make me a mustache man enjoyer, okay? The fact that I even have to say that is stupid. This album sounds like a look into Kanye's mind. Kanye's mind nowadays, that's what I mean. Alright, The Death of Pablo, time to rank it. I'm gonna give it cool. Alright, next up we have The Buzzer. The Buzzer is a Russian radio station that's been broadcasting for a while now. Also, I do like this one a lot. Like, I mentioned earlier that radio hijackings are cool. I think that, like, creepy radio stations and stuff like that are pretty cool, too. Speaking of hijacks, I should probably get this out of the way now. The Buzzer has been hijacked, like, multiple times. One time it was hacked and Gangnam Style was played over it. And another time it was hacked, they played a sound that made it look like troll face through the sound waves. That's pretty cool. Now, if the name in the video wasn't clear enough, it's just a radio station that's live right now. You can go to YouTube and look at it. It's actually pretty creepy. It's like oddly creepy. I say that for like every entry, but for real it is. It's off-putting. But basically it's just beep, beep, beep. And nobody really knows what it means other than the Russian officers or whoever's running this. I've seen a lot of people say that it's coordinates. Coordinates or something. Also, here's another thing. Every now and then a voice comes on and starts saying some Russian stuff. If anybody's watching that's Russian or can speak Russian right now, let me know what he's saying if you can tell. I remember whenever I started my channel, I had no idea what kind of videos I want to make. Right now, dude, I'd be down if I could make videos like these, but I kind of got myself trapped in like movie and show rankings, which I mean I still like making those, but what I really want to talk about is like interesting things online, history, all that good stuff. Basically just what Wendigoon talks about. That's what I'm interested in. So whenever I was starting off my channel, I was thinking of like, what am I going to upload for my first video? And I really wanted to upload a video about the buzzer, but I had no idea how to edit. I had no idea how like video editing or video making worked, so I didn't. So I'm glad I get to talk about it now because, like I've mentioned multiple times, I'm a big fan of radio stuff, radio hijacking, TV hijacks, all that stuff. And so I'm glad I got to talk about it here. What I love about the buzzer is that nobody knows what it's about and that it's still going on now. So I'm going to put this one in very cool. The buzzer is very cool. Alright, the next entry we have is Chip Chan. This one's crazy. So basically, Chip Chan is a Korean woman that live streamed her life 24/7 for a very long time. Chip Chan said she was held there against her will by a corrupt Korean police officer. She called this corrupt police officer Pig, or P, and she believed that she was being mind controlled by P. And many people over the internet have tried to contact the police department, contact somebody, but obviously, according to her, the police aren't going to help because they're all corrupt. And she has a YouTube channel where she posts some pretty disturbing things. She posts a lot of injuries and say that P did that to her, which I can't show on here for obvious reasons, but if you guys want to see the injuries she has a YouTube channel. Now the question you might be asking is, so is this all true? Is she actually being held here against her will? My opinion, 99% sure that she's not. Chip Chan was a paranoid schizophrenic, and she was probably getting some help, and P could have been a healthcare agent that was helping her. And yeah, from everything I've seen, it is very obvious she is not in the best headspace. And whenever people try to help her, try to call the police to help her, it more or less just feeds right into her delusions. So yeah, this entry is pretty sad, I'm not gonna lie. It's just a mentally ill woman that is probably hurting herself. And over the years, her posts on YouTube have become like increasingly more obscure and disturbing. So she is no longer live streaming herself 24/7, but she does post a video like every 2 months. So I mean, hopefully she's getting the help she needs. It's a really, really sad situation. And again, like with a lot of these, I'm oversimplifying it a lot. There's a lot that goes into this mystery. I'm going to give it an actually insane ranking. That's it for tier 5. Now we're going to go into the last tier. Alright, starting off tier 6, aka the final tier of the iceberg, we have something that I hinted about all the way back in tier 1 with the Jeff the Killer image. We have solar plexus clown gliders. Okay, so let me tell you guys how I got introduced into this thing. So it was 2 in the morning, I was playing Red Dead 2, and I had Wendigoon's Conspiracy Theory Iceberg playing on my phone while I was playing Red Dead 2. And I hear Wendigoon say, okay, I'm going to put an info hazard warning on this one, so if you guys want to skip it, then just go right ahead. And that's one of the few times he ever said that. So I'm like, oh my god, wait, this is going to be good, so I lock in and start watching that. And then this godforsaken thing shows up on screen. This was like the scariest thing I'd ever seen to that point. And then bro says that if you see this image, you're going to be possessed. Like, bro. And there's been a few reportings, I'm putting that in quotes, of people saying that they see this thing in their real life after they've seen the image and heard the phrase solar plexus clown gliders. Because it has something to do with your chakra. And so basically they believe that images like this solar plexus clown gliders one and the phrase solar plexus clown gliders makes you vulnerable to a solar plexus clown gliders demon. So if that happens to you, sucks to be you. Now looking back on it, it's stupid that this thing scared me as much as it did. Maybe it was because it was 2 in the morning, but like every single time I saw this image for like a good year after, I would freak out. And the actual thing of it making you vulnerable to demons and the fact that hearing solar plexus clown gliders is like a bad thing just made it so much worse. But looking back on it, it's really dumb. But I'm going to put some of my personal bias in here, and I'm going to bring it all the way up to very cool. Next up we have Barbie.avi, and I ain't talking about the Barbie you're thinking of, no. Very different. Just watch this video. Okay, if you guys are getting mad at me putting jump scares in this video, if it makes you feel any better, every single time I go back to rewatch a segment or edit it, I get jump scared by those jump scares that I put in because I forget about them. Also, this is the moment I realized I probably should have put Barbie.avi higher in the tier list because the Barbie.avi video has over 1 million views on YouTube. But who cares, because I think it's disturbing enough to be at the bottom tier. So as we just saw in the video, you can't tell what is going on. You just see a woman talking, you got some disturbing, distorted noises in the background, and you could tell that the girl's an amputee. Now this thing is technically a creepypasta, but that's not the interesting part. I'll just go ahead and say it. A guy finds a PC in the trash can, loads up the PC, and the Barbie.avi video is on it. It's basically all the creepypasta is. I think the actual search for the woman in the video, and the actual video origins themselves are much more interesting than the creepypasta. I will say, though, the actual fact that this might be one of the only real creepypastas are interesting. At least the Barbie.avi video. Nothing else in the creepypasta, I'm assuming, is true. But eventually, people on 4chan came to the conclusion that she suffered from a condition that makes people think that they have body parts that don't belong there. And so you could assume that she was taking an interview to talk about her condition, to maybe help with treatments, stuff, things of that nature. Because, again, she's an amputee, so a lot of people assume that she maybe cut her own arm off because of her condition, and they're interviewing her about it. But nah, because on a Chinese version of YouTube, people found pretty much the full video. You could clearly see her arm, and it didn't have that weird industrial noise in the background. And from the interview, they found out her name was Tammy. And they found an amputee magazine with a woman named Tammy that looks identical to the one seen in the video, even has the same missing arm. But this might not be true either, because somebody contacted the owner of the amputee magazine, and he said that no, that's not Tammy, but he did know who that was, and her name was Sharon. Really, dude? So, I mean, you can believe whatever you want to believe. I think that's Tammy, because it's literally, it's the same person. Look at her, it's literally the same person. But yeah, this one's technically unsolved, but I mean, I think that's Tammy. I'm going to give Barbie.avi a very cool on the tier list. The second to last entry we have is Sad Satan. Sad Satan is a game found on the dark web that you can now get on Steam for some reason. I don't know how that happened, but it's on Steam. And the game is really dark and disturbing, even without the content that it has in it, which we'll talk about in a second. The game just looks creepy. But what makes this game particularly disturbing is the fact that it shows real things like gore in the game and children's stuff, cheese pizza, COD points, you know, that kind of stuff. Now, I'm assuming the Steam game's not going to have that, but still. Also, I would not buy it on Steam. I would not try to play it at all because, like, every single copy pretty much has a virus in it, so I just wouldn't risk it. This game also has some recordings and audio of certain things, context clues, people. Also, there's audio of Charles Manson, like, in interviews every now and then. Okay, now probably the most important part about this game, other than the actual game itself, is the channel Obscure Horror Corner. He's the first one that, you know, brought this game out there, and he claims he bought it off of a Tor browser. Not bought it, downloaded it off of a Tor browser, which, if I need to remind you, it's the dark web. He uploaded 4 videos of him playing Sad Satan and uploaded it to YouTube. So a lot of people theorize that Obscure Horror Corner created Sad Satan as a way to kind of capitalize off the legend and, you know, make a popular urban legend and get him more subscribers. Also, I need to tell you guys something. In the second part, he shows this, like, satanic image with, like, a goat person with, like, boobs on it. And I gotta tell this story because I don't think I've ever told this story on my channel before. So one day I was at my work alone, right? I worked for my dad's business. That should give some context. And it's like a big warehouse, so nobody else is supposed to be in there. It's just supposed to be me. And I'm, like, sanding some wood. And I have both of my AirPods in on noise canceling, and I have machines running everywhere, so I couldn't hear anything if something happened. I also forgot to lock the door. So you guys know that feeling you get whenever you feel like somebody's watching you? Well, I got that feeling, and I turned around, and there's this dude just standing in here. Keep in mind, nobody's supposed to be in here except for me, and I realized I forgot to lock the door whenever I see him. He's standing there with that exact same image on a hoodie, like a satanic goat person with boobs out. It was like in Christmas sweater form. It was the weirdest thing ever. And I see this guy, my heart drops. I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to get killed or kidnapped. So this guy actually looked like Slender Man, bro. And so I go up to this guy trying to act like I'm not freaked out. And I'm like, oh, what do you need? He's like, can I look through your dumpster? And like I hesitate for a second. I'm like, really? This is what he wanted to ask? And I'm like, sure, I guess. Because I'm scared if I say no, then he's going to kill me. So I'm like, yeah, sure. And he's like, okay, thank you. And then he gave me a fist bump like EDP and left. And I never saw him again. Like, that was the weirdest experience ever. But yeah, back to Sad Satan. That's basically all you need to know. It's a obscure, creepy horror game with a lot of real-world implications and images and videos and audio, all that stuff. I think that I'm going to give it a very cool. I think it's very cool. Now, I'm not saying the stuff on there is very cool. I think the mystery is very cool. Don't get it twisted. Okay, the final entry we have here is the Despair Code. Now, the Despair Code is very, very similar to Solar Plexus Clown Gliders. It's the thought that there exists an equation, word, code out there that when you hear it, bad things will happen. Let me kind of use an example here. You guys remember the buzzer entry from a few years back? Now imagine the buzzer was broadcasting a certain frequency, sound, something that would make you vulnerable to some kind of evil thing that we can't understand. I'm not saying it is, no, I'm just saying like what if. But do you guys remember, I think it was in Fallout 4, maybe I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure it was Fallout 4, where if you said a certain line of code, a synth would deactivate. Now, think like that, but instead there's a certain code out there that would make humans deactivate or die. So yeah, it's very, very similar to solar plexus cloud gliders. It's also theorized that there could be like images, solar plexus cloud gliders again, that could still work with the despair code. Like if a human saw this image, they would just die. So I'm going to be careful out there. Alright, time for the final ranking. I'm going to give the despair code actually insane. I think the despair code is so cool. Alright, that's it for the iceberg tier list. Tierberg, if you will. I love making these kind of videos. This is my favorite video I've made so far. I just had such a great time with it. And I want to make more videos like this in the future. So if you guys want a topic that you guys want me to cover, I'm down to do that. I also still really want to do that like hour-plus long video about the Heaven's Gate cult website, because that website's actually insane. So yeah, if you like the video, you should like, subscribe, all that stuff that YouTubers tell you to do. Join the Discord if you want to. I would appreciate it a lot. If you watched this far, that's actually like crazy to me. I cannot express how thankful I am. Alright, I mean, that's about it. See you guys in the next upload.